My dear fiends of the night, welcome once more to Coffin Talk, the show that exhumes all things eerie, extraordinary, and delightfully macabre. Tonight, my morbid minions, we unearth the long-forgotten horrors, those sinister celluloid specters that have been cruelly banished to the shadows of cinematic obscurity, forgotten horror gems lost in the annals of time, waiting, lurking, yearning to be rediscovered. Oh, Jodie, this is a little over the top, isn't it?
Yeah. Another excuse for you to dust off some old movie no one remembers, right?
Blasphemy, dear boy. These films are treasures of terror, unappreciated nightmares just waiting to wrap their ghostly fingers around your unsuspecting soul. The world worships its Draculas and Freddys, its Michaels and Jasons, but what of the lesser-known horrors, the unsung legends of fear? Tonight, we pay homage to these eerie underdogs. Let us begin. First, we venture into the realm of the supernatural with one of the greatest ghost stories ever told, the Changeling. Picture it, the inimitable George C. Scott as a grieving composer who moves into an old creaking mansion only to discover that he's not alone. Ghostly whispers, phantom wheelchairs, a malevolent entity crying out for justice. It's chilling, it's tragic, it's hauntingly beautiful.
That sounds classy, so what happened? Why isn't it as famous as The Shining?
Therein lies the crime, dear boy. Released in the shadow of Stanley Kubrick's horror juggernaut, the Changeling was unjustly overlooked. But mark my words, if you crave a slow, burning, atmospheric fright, this film will chill you down to the marrow. Next, my fiendish friends, we descend into the darkly fantastical world of Nightbreed. Based on Clive Barker's novel Cabal, this film flips the horror formula on its severed head, where the monsters are the misunderstood heroes and the humans are the true villains. Our protagonist, Boone, discovers Midian, a hidden city for the grotesque yet strangely beautiful creatures. But alas, as mankind so often does, they seek to destroy what they don't understand.
Okay, that actually sounds kind of cool, but why didn't it catch on?
The tragic tale of Nightbreed is one of studio meddling and marketing mayhem. Barker's ambitious vision was butchered by the studio, leaving audiences bewildered. But with time and an eventual director's cut, Nightbreed has risen from the grave to claim its rightful place as a cult classic. Now, prepare to have your sanity unraveled, for Session 9 is a horror experience like no other. Forget jump scares and gore. This film is a slow, creeping dread that burrows into your mind like an unwanted guest. Set in a real abandoned mental asylum, it follows a group of workers tasked with clearing asbestos. But the ghosts of the past have other plans.
Okay, but how come I've never heard of it?
Alas, this film was overshadowed by flashier horror films of the early 2000s, buried beneath the rise of J-horror and found footage frights. But trust me, dear viewers, if you seek atmospheric horror that lingers long after the credits roll, this one will haunt you for days. Now, for a more recent entry, the autopsy of Jane Doe.
First, they bound her, then they ripped out her tongue, poisoned her, paralyzed her, forced her to swallow the cloth.
A father and son team of coroners begin a routine autopsy only to find unsettling anomalies. Who was Jane Doe? What horror befell her? The deeper they dig, the darker the secrets they unearth. An utterly chilling film that relies on tension rather than cheap tricks.
Wait, you're saying an entire horror movie is set in one room with a corpse? And it works?
Oh dear boy, it works most wickedly. A claustrophobic masterpiece with mystery, suspense, and supernatural horror entwined. If you haven't seen it, fix that immediately. For our final entry, let us venture back to the very dawn of horror cinema. Haxan, a Swedish silent film that blends documentary with nightmare fuel, chronicling the history of witchcraft with visuals so unsettling they can make modern horror films blush. Part history lesson, part fever dream. This film is a must-see for fans of the eerie and esoteric.
Ugh, a silent movie? Really? Do people even watch those anymore?
Oh, you uneducated wretch. Haxan is pure cinematic witchcraft, a precursor to the folk horror genre, inspiring everything from The Witch to Midsommar. It is a must-watch for connoisseurs of the occult. And so, dear viewers, we have only scratched the surface of the forgotten horrors that lurk in the shadowy recesses of cinema. There are so many more to uncover, and I urge you to seek them out. Expand your frightful film horizons. Dare to watch the underappreciated, the unloved, the unholy.
Or, just watch whatever's on Netflix.
Blasphemy! Now get out of my crypt at once! Tell me, my creatures of the night, what forgotten horror gems have haunted your dreams? Share your favorites in the comments below. Let's keep the spirit of the underappreciated horrors alive. Until next time, good night.